Welcome to Deep Dive Discussion, where we explore what really matters. This podcast is produced by Ysh Estayo, creator, author, and consultant.
And this episode is sponsored by Inspire Digital Publishing. You can check out their website.
Right. Now let's dive in. Today we're digging into some ideas from Ysh Estayo's book, God Implanted Microchips in You.
Interesting title.
It is. And the core idea, basically, is that we all have these unique inherent gifts. Ysh calls them God-given microchips.
Okay, microchips. So not literal tech, obviously.
No, think of them more like built-in powers. They're meant specifically for our own success or fulfilling life.
And these aren't things you'd learn in a class or inherit.
Exactly. They're described as powers already inside us, just waiting to be found, activated, and used.
So Ysh's view is that these aren't just, random talents we might happen to have.
Right. He argues they're specifically intended for each person to thrive. It's almost like a unique operating system we're born with.
Designed for a certain kind of success. That's a really interesting frame.
It is. So how does this actually, look in real life? Ysh tells a story about his friend Shelli.
Ah, yes, Shelli. What was her situation?
Well, apparently she wasn't, say, the most technically skilled person on her team. Not the book smartest, perhaps.
Okay.
But she was an absolutely fantastic salesperson. Just phenomenal.
So what was her edge? What was the microchip there?
Ysh points to her voice, actually. Her voice and her charm. He particularly mentions this childlike laugh she had during presentations.
A laugh as a key asset?
Apparently, yes. It made her presentations really compelling, really effective. Even though, and this is key, Shelli herself didn't like her voice.
Really?
Yeah, she thought it sounded, and I quote, ugly.
Wow, so something she saw as a negative.
It was potentially her greatest strength. Ysh suggested to her that this voice, this charm, might be that exact God-given gift, her microchip for sales success.
And did it work out that way for her?
Absolutely. The results, Ysh says, were clear. She consistently outsold colleagues, even those with more technical expertise.
So big bonuses, good salary.
Exactly. High salary, enjoyed her life. All because she started leveraging this thing she initially disliked.
That really drives home the point, doesn't it? That our biggest strengths might be things we just don't see or even criticize in ourselves.
Totally. It's quite a perspective shift. Then Ysh brings up another example, meeting Nick Vujicic.
Oh, right. The speaker burned without any limbs. An incredible story.
Yes. And Nick, understandably, initially felt, immense struggle, blaming God, wanting to be normal.
Of course. That seems like such a profound disadvantage from the outside.
But that's where the microchip idea comes in again, in a really powerful way.
How so?
Nick eventually came to this incredible realization that his condition, his lack of limbs, wasn't a mistake or a curse.
She saw it differently.
He began to see it as a unique gift, a specific gift from God, even though, as Ysh puts it, it came in an unattractive container.
An unattractive container holding a super gift. That's quite the image.
It really is. And look at the impact Nick has had.
Huge impact. Changing lives all over the world. People call him limitless.
Precisely. It shows that these gifts, these microchips, they might not look like what we expect or even want. They can be packaged in ways that seem, well, contrary to our desires.
But the potential inside is immense. Wow. Okay.
So let's try and synthesize this. What's the main takeaway Ysh Estayo wants us to get from all this?
Well, the core message seems to be pretty straightforward, actually. Everyone has these gifts, these microchips, no exceptions.
Right. They're universal.
And finding them, using them, it's not presented as like an optional self-help exercise. Ysh frames it as essential.
Essential for what?
Essential for your success, your individual success and fulfillment. He argues they are specifically designed for you. They are the key, basically, to winning in life, however you define that.
Discovering and using your inherent design is the path, not optional.
That seems to be the central thrust, yes.
Okay. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Ysh Estayo's thinking, it really makes you pause, doesn't it? Makes you think about yourself.
It definitely does. And that leads to a crucial question for anyone listening. What might your potential microchips be?
Yeah, how are they showing up? Maybe in ways you haven't really noticed.
Or maybe even in ways you've dismissed, like Shelli did with her voice. Could those unexpected, maybe even slightly odd parts of you actually be your most powerful gifts?
Something to reflect on, for sure. Those unique, inherent qualities.
Definitely worth exploring.
Thanks for listening. Grab Ysh Estayo's latest book on Amazon. Need coaching, writing help, or business support? Ysh has your back.
Check the show notes for all the links.
Until next time, keep diving deep.